Hello everybody, Jake your resident content cowboy here, Yeehaw, and Dodrio is coming to Pokemon Unite today. Later today it is dropping, so I am showing you everything Dodrio real quick in this video so you'll be able to play this Pokemon right away and understand what is going on here. Let's first talk about Dodrio's sprint gauge. So right now I'm a little Doduo, but basically as you're moving, that little gauge under your health bar starts to charge up. Once it is fully charged, many of your moves take a different effect. Your Peck, your Drill Peck, and your Tri-Attack, as well as your basic attack becomes this increased boosted that you're going to see right here, where you dash through the enemies. That's one of the interesting things about Dodrio. Here's another super interesting aspect of this Pokemon. It scores in bursts, unlike other characters. So while it's Doduo, it scores in 2 sets here, 1, 2. So stacking items stack incredibly fast. And then once it becomes Dodrio, you score in a set of 3. Basically, once you come to Path as Dodrio, you can kind of score twice, essentially, and get fully stacked on your attack weight. Currently on the public test server, for whatever reason, the Eos cookie is not stacking correctly. I don't know if that's going to make its way to the main game or not. All right, let's talk about your 2 early attacks, Peck and Quick Attack. So Peck does activate with your sprint gauge, giving you increased damage and just a nice big burst right there. Quick Attack does decent damage. It gives you a dash, and if it hits an enemy Pokemon, the cooldown of it is reduced. Also, if you hit with a boosted basic using your sprint gauge, it lowers the cooldowns of your other moves. That includes your upgraded moves once you get them, but let's say you hit with your Peck and your Quick Attack. You could see they're both on cooldown here. If I hit with a boosted, it lowers the cooldown of both moves, I believe by about a second. Quick Attack, like I said, has a lower cooldown if you hit an enemy Pokemon with it. So right there, you get a second off of your Quick Attack for hitting an enemy. Quick Attack also gives you a little burst of speed, so it's easier to charge your gauge with that burst right there. You can just get out of a situation, charge your burst gauge, come back in, and then hit with a powerful attack like Peck or one of your upgraded moves. Let's take a look at them. At level 5, you become Dodrio. You get to choose between either Tri-Attack or Drill Peck. Full disclosure, in the public test server, it feels like Tri-Attack is kind of underpowered. However, I was playing it a little bit earlier and it felt okay. Drill Peck seems to be the go-to move. I'm going to start talking about that. If you use it without your sprint gauge charged, you will just do damage next to you multiple times. Now, Dodrio, this is something I should mention. The way you aim its moves is not with your right stick. I'm moving my right stick here and it has nothing to do with aiming. Only one move, I believe, on Dodrio is based on the right stick. Everything else is based on your left stick. It is the direction that you are moving. That is where your move goes. So I can hold behind me, doesn't matter. Quick Attack is still going the direction I'm moving. Same with Drill Peck. Now, Drill Peck does something really cool when your sprint gauge is full, which is a ton of damage and a big shove, as you can see right there. You shove the enemy. We just did 10,000 damage onto that substitute doll. I believe some of that is based on max HP, so you're not going to do that against a normal enemy, but it does a lot of damage and it has a big shove. It's a really, really cool move. I bet it will be the preferred playstyle for this character. It's just so fun to push your enemies around. Of course, when they're not using their Unite moves, you can do it easier. Let's see. Here we go. Pushing you around, Venusaur. And now I'm out of here. Let's talk about Dodrio's next move, Jump Kick. Jump Kick is a really cool move. It helps charge your boost gauge, so when you hit an enemy, you can see that your sprint gauge charges up there, and it lets you set up a lot of different combos. So you can Jump Kick into an enemy, get on the other side of them, and then use your Drill Peck to push them around. You can also Jump Kick an enemy after you use Drill Peck here, get a big boosted attack, and then that way you'll lower the cooldown of both of your moves. So there are some really cool combos you can set up with Jump Kick. When it starts, the first target you hit is stunned just briefly when you hit them, and then once you get the upgrade to Jump Kick, it will stun not only the target you hit, but anyone in the space afterwards when you land. So Jump Kick charges your sprint gauge if you hit something. If you don't hit something, it doesn't really charge your sprint gauge here at all. But if you hit an enemy, it will charge your sprint gauge. It also charges your sprint gauge if you hit obstacles, which is really cool. Let me show you. You can bounce over this wall. Boom, your sprint gauge is charged. So you could set up some really exciting plays with a move like this. At level 11, you get the upgrade for Drill Peck Plus, and when you get that upgrade, when you hit an enemy with this, not only does this move already have reduced cooldown, you also recover health based on a percentage of the damage dealt. I'm not sure the percentage there, but it's a nice little bonus for this move, so you can use it to kind of dive in, do some damage, jump kick, move around, and brawl a little bit here. As you can see, I recovered a bunch of HP while I was using that. Gonna boost through here. Jump kick back around, and then you can move back in with a little combo right there. Obviously, the Solar Beamosaur is just being incredibly mean while I'm trying to show this off, but it's a really cool setup here. Again, jump kick just sets up some really nice combos for your drill peck. You can also, of course, use it with your tri attack, which does have some cool functions. Again, it just feels like tri attack is a little bit weaker than drill peck. Once you get the upgrade for jump kick, like I said, wherever you land, it stuns the enemy as well. So, geez, this Venusaur, are you kidding me? I'm trying to show everybody how jump kick works. He's not going to let me at all. So again, with jump kick plus, what you're going to be able to do is stun enemies where you land. So you could literally jump through something and then stun as you land. It's going to be pretty awesome. You can move over obstacles to do this combo, and you can also use it to stun multiple enemies as you're fighting. You basically get 2 stuns on the target that you're hitting as well. It's a very, very cool setup. Let me show you the other 2 moves. Dodrio's next 2 moves, Tri Attack and Agility. So like I said, your Tri Attack actually does work with your sprint gauge. When your sprint gauge is full, this is the only move that you can actually aim with your right stick, and you can sort of move while shooting your Tri Attacks at range. It's really cool. It does look like the damage was slightly increased from the last time I played, but that could all just be in my head. Last time I played this Pokemon on the test server, the damage for Tri Attack was really, really low. But it does set up some cool combinations, and you're able to attack the enemy, keep your boost gauge charged, and then run in with a big attack. And then, of course, because Tri Attack has multiple charges, you could also attack the enemy, move in with a big boosted, hit them with another Tri Attack, and if you have items like a Scope Lens, Razor Claw, you could start doing a ton of burst damage in a setup like this. So Tri Attack actually does decrease enemy stats as well when it hits. I'm not sure which color does which. I'm not positive. One decreases damage, one decreases attack, one decreases movement speed. I'm not positive which is which, but if you hit an enemy with a Tri Attack, you will decrease their stats for a little while. And that'll be cool to see exactly how much that is and how beneficial that can be inside of a match. Now let's talk about Agility. Probably the least exciting move inside Dodrio's kit, but I actually think with how quick you can reset your gauge, you might be able to do some cool stuff with this. So Agility is going to give you a boost of movement speed, as if you didn't already have enough, and then it basically charges up your gauge to full. In fact, on its plus, it immediately gives you a full sprint gauge. So you could set up some really cool plays with this here. You could immediately basically get back into any of your boosteds with a Drill Peck or with Tri Attack. The upgrade to Tri Attack lets you restore HP with your next attack after you hit with a Tri Attack. So just similar to Drill Peck, you have a way to restore HP with Dodrio, and it's using your big boosted attack here with Tri Attack. And then, like I said earlier, for Agility, Agility Plus, just simply you get a full agility gauge right away, or full sprint gauge right away, excuse me, which really can set up some very cool plays, especially since Tri Attack doesn't drain your boosted gauge. You actually can kind of set up big attacks, and then you can charge through multiple times. We'll have to see what the best play style is once this character gets to the main game, but you have some really cool stuff here with Agility and Tri Attack. I just wonder if the damage is going to be enough. All right, now let's talk about Dodrio's Unite move. A Unite move where you can cast it in a very large area around you, and your character will then take, I believe it is the shortest path to that destination, knocking enemies up along the way and doing tons of damage. You can also cast it very short, so I could just move right there and do some damage and knock some enemies up, and then I can also cast it in a very, very large radius. Let me show you. So let's say you're right here. This is no longer the case because Zapdos doesn't spawn anymore, but I could throw it here into the middle and then run all the way around that wall and hit to there. You can also run in a pattern like this, and it will just take you the shortest path around to your destination. There are probably, I was going to say if, but there are probably pretty cool routes that this will run that are going to feel a little cruel to the enemies. You'll be able to run through a choke in a really, you know, exciting way and do some real damage to your opponents here. It's nice. It has some good knock-up, and then it just sets you up to do some damage here. And the most exciting thing is it runs in kind of a wild fashion and can knock up a ton of enemies. So I can't wait to see what this is going to do inside the main game, especially what it's going to do on the new map here. And then, of course, as you're running, you're going at kind of crazy speeds, and you charge your sprint gauge as you go. I don't know if it would charge your sprint gauge if you happen to run into the enemy flux zone. Let's give it a shot and find out. So if I run deep into the enemy flux zone with this, you still get your sprint gauge charged as you do that. So you get your sprint gauge charged. Essentially, no matter where you go, you will have your sprint gauge charged when you use this Unite move. All right, let me take you into the map and show you some cool stuff with Dodrio. I don't want to make this too long, so I'll just show a couple highlights of this Pokemon. So I'm just taking this into the test server. They're giving me a bot match, but we can just show some interesting moments throughout this match that seem pretty cool, and I'll talk about it as I go here. So just heading into the center area here, just to kind of see what a jungle clear would look like for our little bird right now. I'm not sure. Oops, I forgot. It follows the move direction. I'm not sure if this is going to be the kind of Pokemon that you bring to the center, or if this is the kind of Pokemon that you spend a lot of your time with, you know, in the enemy central area. I'm not positive yet. We're going to have to see. You'd run into the enemy area, look for him, see if you can grab one like that, and just grab a KO there. You could also, we could goal get our way into a nice little stack here early. So we got 3 stacks right away. Backing up, grabbing some berries. Ooh, oh yeah, the speed flux zone. I forgot that ruins your sprint gauge. Good to know. The speed flux zone ruins your sprint gauge. Pushing everything out here. And then there's that combo of bouncing around with a jump kick. We could have set up a drill peck there, but the enemy was already KO'd. Again, I think just drill peck's ability to move enemies around is going to be pretty huge. And you'll come in with your boosted basic there to finish them off. Just a quick little point blank range Unite. Just wanted to throw that out there. As you can see, I broke that goal, but I didn't get to overdunk it or anything. And that's something that Dodrio is going to have to deal with, is not overdunking a lot of goals. And that could be a problem for your team. It also could set up just you breaking goals in crazy ways that other Pokemon do not. Ooh. Ooh, look at the combo. That's very fun. All right, so I'm going to push this Regieleki down towards this bottom goal as long as Cinder doesn't ruin this for me here. I want to see if it scores it in one big burst once Reggie uses it, or if it breaks it up. If it scores it in one big burst, that would be ideal, and it does. So when the goal is disabled using Regieleki, you're actually going to score in one big burst. This is not the case for Rayquaza. I already know that, but I wanted to see if it was for Reggie, and that actually is a really interesting point of strategy there for Dodrio, is that once the goal is disabled like that, you're actually able to score all of your points at once. Worse for stacking, but you're already going to be stacked up super early with this Pokemon, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. See how fast we can run! Run! You can get away pretty quick with Dodrio, for sure. I think the stun from Jump Kick will probably be too valuable. And because you stop for a second when you use Agility. Maybe if you didn't stop for a second when you used Agility, it would actually be pretty good. I don't think there's much else to test on this right now, other than I want to try to get Rayquaza. We'll see if I can. It's a little hard with this Pokemon. I think this is very much, you know, good for scoring and messing with the enemy. Not so good at objective. Like, look at this. It just... It's even a little wonky how you have to attack things, right? Like, look at that. Easy to miss just because it's so unintuitive. So it's not going to be great for solo, but maybe Tri-Attack will. I have not tried Tri-Attack for soloing objectives. As you can see there, one nice Drill Peck. Got rid of that shield completely. Probably won't do it on some of the tankier characters, but on Garchomp there, got rid of Garchomp's shield. As you can see, not a big overcap here. Another Pokemon would have put in a nice overcap. Dodrio does not. So you're going to break goals faster, but you're more of a liability in that sense. Tri-Attack's actually been pretty fun in this match. But again, these are matches against bots. There's no one on the public test server right now to play with. So I would say don't hold your breath for Tri-Attack, but it's actually been really fun in this particular game. All right, we secured Rayquaza there. So now we have this big shield, and we have the faster scoring, and we are Dodrio. So, oops. Look how quick the scoring is here. 32, 34, 34 able to put in there. So it's a really nice combination, and with this shield, you can score a ton really fast. Dodrio's going to have some big end-of-game gameplay moments. I mean, the insta scores that you get essentially from this, shield, and the fact that his scoring is increased essentially means that you're going to be able to do some really cool stuff with this Pokemon. You already can score crazy fast in the end game and just put a ton of points on the board, but Dodrio's going to do some really cool stuff with the Ray buff as well, that big Ray shield. That's so fast. It's already so fast, but that's just so crazy fast. Oh, this Pokemon's gonna be so cool. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Like I said earlier, I don't think I'm more excited about any release than I am Dodrio. This Pokemon is wild. It's weird. Parts of it feel underpowered. Parts of it feel like it's going to be crazy overpowered. I cannot wait to get it in the main game. I should have a stream going on my channel right once it releases, so be here for that. I love you all, and I'll see you all very soon. Mwah!